they want to hear from you.
Okay.
They want to know your experience.
Okay.
Why you've come.
Okay. And they're ready to roll?
Ready? Ready?
I'm excited to be here at Park Institute in Coimbatore. I'm a NASA astronaut, flew on 4 space shuttle missions. And I'm working with Go for Guru, and we've been traveling across southern India, and we'll do this for another week, speaking to young students. And the idea is to get them excited, to inspire them, to maybe be that next generation of scientists, engineers, astronauts, and explorers. Chandrayaan 2 will land on the moon just in a week or so. And we need that next generation ready to help out on future missions. And I met many of those young students today that are interested in going to the moon, going to Mars, and it's so important to do that. Also with Go for Guru, we have an international space science competition. And 3 or 4 students get selected to come to the United States to visit NASA on a tour of the Kennedy Space Center down in Florida. And it's an amazing opportunity, again, to inspire young students, to get them interested in space exploration.
In just 1 week, our Chandrayaan 2 is likely to land in the moon. In fact, after landing there, we will be getting some images and pictures like that from the Chandrayaan 2. What type of research will we get through for the pixel media from the Earth?
What type of research?
What way this is going to get?
Okay.
How it is then?
Yeah. When Chandrayaan 2 lands on the moon near the South Pole, everybody at NASA, everybody around the world is going to be watching that, because we have landed near the equator of the moon before, but never at the South Pole. And the South Pole is a very special location. We think there's ice in some of the craters that are permanently shadowed. And Chandrayaan 2 will be the first spacecraft to land near the South Pole of the moon. This is where NASA hopes to land astronauts about 5 years from now. So what you learn from Chandrayaan 2, the lander and then the rover, is going to be of great interest to NASA for NASA's future missions. And this is just of interest, I think, to every human on planet Earth, just to learn more about the moon and about our universe. And you should be so proud of what India is accomplishing on this mission. That humans could live on the moon. The moon is a tough place to live. It's during the daytime, it's very hot, like 100 degrees Celsius. At nighttime, the temperature drops to minus 100. So it's a tough environment to live. We get a lot of radiation on the moon. So if we send astronauts to build a base there to live on the moon, they would have to live in protective shelters, maybe underneath soil, moon rocks on top of them to protect them. There is very little oxygen there, but if we find ice, if we know there's ice there, we can get water, and from water we can get oxygen, and hydrogen and oxygen are great rocket fuels. So it'll be an interesting place to build a base, but to have humans living all over the moon, it would be very difficult right now.
Every country in the world is right now on the space shuttle program. We are being to do the space shuttle across the world. Various countries are much involved in it right now.
There's great interest in space right now. A space war. Let's just say, I hope not. You know, back in the early 1960s, all the spacefaring countries, you know, agreed. We signed a document, international peaceful use of space. And space should be something for peaceful uses only. I hope that it never becomes an area for competition, war, anything like that. Competition for science, competition and exploration is good, but space should never be used as a base for military actions at all. I hope we never ever do that. Space is one area where we work together as countries in peace. The United States and Russia sometimes are butting heads, but in space, up on the International Space Station, we're close partners. So the International Space Station is a great model for many different countries working together on a peaceful endeavor. on an engineering project, and I hope it's the same thing when we go to Mars, 20 years from now. Space should be a peaceful area, just like Antarctica is. Antarctica is an area where our countries we have bases down there, we're all cooperating, we're all participating, but we do it together as a human race.
Any other planet that you have there?
Met 3 crore children, and he would only take 2 days off in a month.
Who can make a difference to our students and their grades. She is a great inspiration to help students by arranging educational tours, picks talented students. Welcome to you, sir. Dr. A.P. Anand, head of the Department of Aeronautical. He really strives hard to help each one of us to touch the skies with glory. A great welcome to us all the way to cover this event. My special welcome to school principals, staffs and students who have other colleges and invitees for this event. Thank you.
A woman is like a tea bag. You never know how strong she is until she gets in hot water. She's a strong woman who understands.
The countdown has begun, and all of us are here, all of you as well, whoever has come, you will be inspired today, and really hoping that, what you see today is going to change your life in some way in such an event, for us to reach out to an astronaut of such, and thank you for your effort in your department, bringing this together for this day. Thank you. What do you want to think about? What do you
spent almost a full year up in space. And she's in line now. She'll be flying up in the next year on one of the commercial rockets to go up to the International Space Station. And about 5 years from now, we have plans to land an astronaut on the moon. In 2024, we're going to land 2 astronauts, 1 man, 1 woman, on the moon, and I've heard that Sunita is near the top of the list, so you may be hearing more about her accomplishments very soon. I also want to recognize Dr. Abdul Kalam, the missile man, right? And one other individual, Mr. Maswami Anadurai. As these individuals are. This is the crew from Apollo 11, and 50 years ago, they were the first astronauts to land on the moon. On the left-hand side is the commander, Neil Armstrong. On the right-hand side was Buzz Aldrin, the second person on the moon. And then in the middle is Michael Collins, who stayed in the capsule called Columbia, orbiting the moon. They launched on July 16th. From the Kennedy Space Center, and 2.5 days later, they were at the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin transferred into the lunar module, and later that day, they landed on the surface of the moon.
I believe that an asteroid hit the Earth, due to which dinosaurs got extinct. Do you believe that if the asteroid of similar kind hit the Earth, we will be subject to survival?
Yeah, we've been hit, the Earth has been hit by asteroids many, many times over our history. It caused a mass extinction.